Sawadee Krap. So, we have an episode number, Jesus, already lost track, 5, hopefully, maybe 6. Sweet. So I want to talk about being your best. Great place to be filming today. In my vehicle out the front of my good friend Matt Moss's house. We're also recording Ring Lovers today. So if you're not watching that one, listening to that one I should say, jump onto Spotify and you can download that there. What I want to talk about, being your best. The other way is not being a loser. I've talked about the Matt Lucas post where he said being a loser, which, you know, getting caught up in whether it be food or whether it be drinking or whether it be drugs or depression or whatever it is, getting caught up in the shit that holds you back. Man, if you're good at something, be the best you can be. I can't stress that enough. There is no sense in doing something and not doing your best at it. I left my run too late because I was too scared to be my best. And then once I started doing it, I was like, fuck. And I tried to pump out as many fights as I could close together to try and make up for the bullshit early on, you know. But man, there's certain things as a fighter, small little things you have to do. And if you do those things, you are going to be better. And you are going to not have excuses anymore, which is where you want to be. Don't have the excuses. One thing, show up. Show up to training. Have a plan, whether it be what your trainer said or whether you have some ideas of your own that you want to do. I don't know, maybe you want to get this right kick down pack, whatever. Be there, show up, put in. Say you're struggling to defend punches. Man, make that a little goal of yours to get better at it. The only way you get better is by actively working on getting better. To get the result means that you're being the best you can be. That's pretty much it. It translates straight across. Whether you want to be better at technique, better with your mental game. If you want to be better at your mental game, do whatever it takes. You know, speak to a sports psychologist, speak to someone like Brianna Bowley, speak to someone, get that sorted. Or work on it in your own. Work on it every time you're sparring, getting this focus in your head of what you want to do, the determination you've got to get the result. Because if you've got determination, then you'll probably reach it. You might not get 100% of it, but you're going to get close to it. Then there's the people who are just naturally good and don't try because they're naturally good. That's a sad one. Someone, man, like my daughter, for instance, super lazy, but so fucking talented. Like, if she actually tried every session, I don't think anyone could keep up with her, especially in the kids' classes. I think she could then transfer that across to training with the adults and stuff as well. Like, obviously she's little, but she's not a whole lot smaller than someone like Alicia in our gym, or my missus, or who else? Teresa. She's not a whole heap smaller than them, and she's, man, for a kid, she can make power, all that sort of stuff. Man, she's turning 11 tomorrow, and she is so fucking talented. But she's got to want it. She loves it. She says she loves Muay Thai. She loves Muay Thai more than probably Antoine, probably more than my missus. But it's just that laziness coming out, which, man, then you've got an excuse to not be the best version of yourself, right? Because that one, there's sometimes people just make shit go wrong. Brianna made a really good post about that recently where she spoke about, how was it put? Like, this, you know, being known for the struggle and then creating the struggle because that's what you're hooked on. You're hooked on the struggle instead of getting out of the struggle and owning the fact you're out of that struggle and then owning your shit. Man, if you want to look at the struggle, look at Max McVicker when he went pro. He had a couple of rough ones, He had the one where his esophagus burst. He had his kneecap dislocate. He then had a couple of, I think, anxiety-filled fucking losses, which were where he didn't quite, he gassed out mentally in the fights. And it was like, there was two of them. There was, I know he's sick for Sing Piak, but there was that one, and then there was the one in England he had, or Ireland, or whatever it was. Same sort of thing. And man, his whole goal then was to not be that again. And look what he's doing now. It's amazing, you know. Like, his next fight back after that shit run, I reckon, was Damon Nelson, who was the current Australian champion at the time, and I reckon Max owned it. You know what I mean? So the proof is there that you can actually get past your little hang-ups, which is okay. It's okay to have them, you know, but you've got to work on them. The other one was, you know, like if you're really good, but you find excuses, whether it be, I don't know, oh man, I've got a drug addiction. Cool story, bro. Preaching to the choir here, man. If you want to use that as an excuse, get fucked. Like, you're making choices. Same with, you know, someone who has a fight and then they binge eat, so they blow out after every fight. So then they've got an excuse for that struggle to get back to form again, back to fitness again. Cool story, bro. You've got an addiction. Like, fix your problem, because that's not helping you in life either. And every single fucking lesson you'll learn in Muay Thai, it translates directly across to life. I can't stress that one enough. If you're stressing yourself out on every single situation in Muay Thai, then I'm sorry, you're probably doing the same thing in your life, in your everyday life. It's just a given. Let me drop the height of this a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it's just a given. However you deal with your shit in your Muay Thai, you're going to deal with it the same way in life. If you're a stress head, you're going to stress in the ring. You're going to stress at home. If you're an addict, you're probably going to get addicted to Muay Thai instead of actually just loving it, instead of doing it through conscious decisions. If you're a loser, and like Matt Lucas said, if you're choosing depression you're choosing to put your focus in your depression over the need or the want to get better, then there's a fair chance you're doing that in your life as well. Which means you've always just got an excuse there, whether it be the food, the drugs, the depression. You've got an excuse. You've got an excuse to not be the best version of yourself. Why live if you're not going to live to the best of your ability? That's a huge one. Do the best you can. Don't have an excuse. Lose because you weren't good enough. The biggest lesson that needs to be taught to people, that's been taken away from them through this whole fucking everyone's entitled to fucking a winner's trophy because there's no such thing as losers anymore. All that has done is set every motherfucker up to be losers. They're too scared to lose because they don't learn how to lose from a young age. Man, I tell my kids all the time if they didn't do good enough. Why? Because the rest of the world isn't doing it. Right now, they think their mates have got it easier because, you know, they're all being told how amazing they are and shit. Sorry, you're doing okay, but that's about it. I'm glad you're doing it, but is it to the best of your ability? No, it's not. Could you be better? Absolutely. But that's the mentality everyone needs to have. Have that mentality that you're doing the best you can. Win or lose, so be it. If you win, fantastic. If you lose, well, just part of the game. No one wins all the time. And one of the best fighters in the world right now is Max McVicker. Let's go back to him. Man, he lost to Yodwishar. What do you want to do? You want to whinge about it? No. You get on with it. You get on with the next one, then have a massive performance like 4 weeks later against Sajjad. That's through choice. That's the choice of, okay, I lost because I wasn't the best that night. He also, to be honest, he probably didn't do his best that night. which is probably why then he worked even harder for the next one. You've got to want to be your best. Take away the excuses. Here we go. Let's take away the excuses. So excuses are mental health, because they're not a reason, they're an excuse. Then under that heading, there is addiction, there's shit life choices. The one we said before about making the grind, creating the hard work, which doesn't have to be there. Those things all come under that mental health thing. And mental health has become the biggest excuse for human beings in the world. Why? Because the system has taught them that. If you are choosing mental health as your reason not to be the best version of yourself, sorry, but you've literally sold your fucking soul to the devil and these fucking scumbags who run the earth and have actually created a mental health issue that shouldn't even be there. Man, growing up, there was always suicide. There was always a thing, but it was the rarity. This one person out of, a bucket load who was that depressed he necked himself. Man, sad. Super. To me, even more sad back then because they had to have been struggling. Whereas now it's like, oh fuck, I didn't get the right toy I wanted in my fucking Wheaties, so now I'm going to kill myself. Like, sorry mate, but you don't always get it your way. You got to chase your way to get your way. You've got to make your way happen. And the only way that happens is by being the best version of yourself. If your missus has left you because you're miserable, sorry man, but that was your option. My woman is a great example of this. If I'm trying to get better, because when I first met my missus, I don't know how she put up with me. And the fact that she could see I was taking the steps to get better and not going backwards at any point, like for my mental health, I was doing the little things and she could see that I was getting better, even though it was a slow process. She could see that I was getting better because I had that excuse. I had that excuse for years. And once I took away the drugs, sorry, no excuse anymore, whether it be drugs, whether it be food, whether it be gambling, whether it be alcohol, whatever happens, whatever you're addicted to, if you're not consciously making a decision, you're making an excuse. So I was making those choices and she could see that I was making those better choices to improve myself as a human. So she stuck with me. And I guarantee 99% of women in the world would be the same. As long as you're putting the effort in to be better than you were yesterday, they'll hang around. They will be part of the journey. But if you're that, oh, I'm depressed, oh, I can't be the best, oh, this or that, sorry, life leaves you behind, your missus leaves you behind, probably takes your kids with you. Otherwise you drag her into mental health situations as well. And then she has to battle to get out of it because she's dedicated her life to trying to drag you out of your miserableness. So your misery, I guess the word is, but if you've been miserable, then you're probably going to make the people around you miserable as well. Do the best you can. Do the best you can each day in life and in Muay Thai. Because if you're doing it in Muay Thai, it will translate across to life anyway. Every lesson you learn in Muay Thai, as I said earlier, you will translate across to your life. Direct correlation. There was one the other day I was talking about with someone, I can't remember the exact situation now, and they were like, oh, how does that translate to life? And it was a pretty, I can't remember exactly what it was now, but it was an exact correlation across to, like, I think losing your job or something like that. And it's the same, man. A fight pulls out. Sorry, you didn't get your promotion at work. You were supposed to fight for a title, but you got injured. Sorry, that's that promotion at work. Whatever it happens to be, if you hold on to, if your attachment is the big one, if you're holding on to everything so much, man, the Buddhist teaching that I learned many years ago is no attachment. If you're attached to this particular fight that you've got coming up and it falls through, man, of course it's going to hurt. It's another reason why I've never actually let my guys train specifically for one opponent. just in case there is a change, because it happens all the time. I think there's going to be so much regret in this generation. Actually, it's going to go one of two ways. There's going to be regret, or there's going to be just a whole bunch of miserable cunts who don't even know what depression is. So if you're not being the best you can be, which, man, I'd probably say 90% of people aren't, you will only ever have regret about that. It doesn't matter what you could have achieved. No one cares what you could have done. You didn't do it. This generation is going to have so much regret because they're too scared to be the best version of themselves, because the best version of themselves might not be the best in the world. Fucking who cares? That's why you're in a sport. That's why it's not life or death when we're fighting. If it's life or death, it's a different story. You have to be the best in the world, otherwise you're dead. But otherwise, man, you just have to survive. You have to do your best, and whatever that result is, man, so be it. I'm not going to ramble on too much more about this today. I've got a lot of traveling coming up, so I'm going to be doing some interviews while I'm away. Next weekend I'm in Ballina, so I've got another episode before Ballina. I'm going to record while I'm there. Then the weekend after, I'm in Melbourne for Road to RWS/Rebellion. I'll try and do another interview while I'm there, and then I'm off to Thailand. So I'll see how it goes, but I'll try and rack up a few while I'm in Thailand to have the next few weeks after that. Any particular subjects you'd like for me to discuss, please inbox me, follow my pages, either the Think Pink podcast page, Team Pinky Muay Thai, or Ring Lovers podcast. You can inbox Ring Lovers podcast with any questions you'd like for us to answer each week. Aside from that, if you've got anything you'd like for me to discuss on here, a particular subject, let me know. But yeah, we've got a lot coming up. There's going to be an episode every Thursday. Usually the bigger ones, the interview ones, I'll have them out 5 a.m. on a Thursday. Other than that, they'll probably be out. If there's just me doing it, then I'll probably have them out around lunchtime, maybe just after. But yeah, I appreciate everyone's support. It's been really good so far for my views, so I'm really happy with that. A lot of people watching the full length of it, which is a big one for me, like trying to get the watch hours, because the more view hours I get on my YouTube, the quicker I get monetized. Get me monetized, people, and I'll start putting up some even better stuff. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, and we'll speak to you soon. Khop khun krap.